All right. So, Mark, I am excited to talk about Old Man. I watched it yesterday and that movie floored me. I felt like it was
Aw.
a total cat and mouse game between you and Stephen Lang of all people.
Right. Well, thank you so much for watching it. I'm excited to talk to you too. And the backdrop is just so damn cool. You're like one of the third pieces to the old man now.
That's awesome to hear. So, how did you get this role of Joe?
So the writer Joel Veitch wrote this. It was a play initially, and he shared it with me. And I just was blown away by it and was so excited by it. I was like, man, I really want to do this as a film, and that's kind of how the whole thing started. So just a couple guys talking, probably disgruntled and complaining about something, and he said, hey, you should read this.
Definitely. And that's what it
Yeah,
was. And I think that's what the big thing was with the movie is that you got to share the screen with Stephen Lang. That dude is an
yeah,
icon. What was
yeah.
it like working with him? It had been amazing.
It was totally amazing. I mean, just even since the beginning, like we had these rehearsals, these Zoom rehearsals, and he's just a total pro. So we read the script a handful of times, and we got together in person and hung out, and I wouldn't. I could go on and on. Like it's just such a pleasure, and he is so unbelievably good and funny and nice. You just want to be around him. But he's such a serious guy, and he certainly kept me on my toes a handful of times. Like in one scene, I definitely wasn't doing something right, and he let me know, and I was like, oh wow, okay, let's go again. So I didn't want to disappoint him or anyone else, and he's anything and everything you could possibly imagine, being on set with him.
I bet. I mean, because he brings out these intense performances, and even from the trailer, like I
Uh-huh.
showed my mom the trailer, and she was just like, and she said he goes, he loves playing these type of, he has to love playing these types of roles because we thought of Don't Breathe, and right away
Yeah.
she's like, he's gotta love playing these type of roles. I go, you have seen nothing yet. That's all I got to tell you. And I saw the movie. I'm like, she was like, is it that good? I go, you need to see this. Like, you you have to see this movie.
Oh,
And
how cool.
yeah,
Did your mom see it or she hadn't seen
not
it?
yet, not yet. She
Okay,
hasn't
cool.
seen it yet. I think I'm gonna surprise her when the movie comes out next week.
Amazing. That's
But
so funny.
but I mean the intensity there. As soon as you even walk in the cabin, he just brought out the intensity in terms of who are you? What are you doing here? And you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I like the fact that he eventually calms down. Then you two start having this chat, and then I like his story with the Bible salesman, and just the way you
Uh-huh.
guys played each other off was so funny. Like when you ask him, you tied him on the stove. He's like, no, why would I do that? No, I tied him to the stove. Like that
Right.
was funny.
Right.
So
Totally funny.
and you also shared screen time with Liana, right? Mark, what was that like with her in your scenes with her?
It was great. I feel honestly, I feel so lucky in this film because everyone is just so talented, and outside of their skill set, they're just good people. So I feel like I was maybe blessed and cursed because I'm like, oh man, the bar's been set. I don't ever want to go back from this. Like Liana was terrific, and Pat, she played the Bible salesman, was just so good. Um, Everyone is so good on this that in a lot of ways it was easy, to be honest with you, because everyone was just kind of firing on all cylinders.
That's awesome. It must have been a crazy shoot because of course, you spent most of the screen with Steven.
Yeah.
How long did you spend on the set, and did you guys face any challenges since considering it was obviously a minimal cast and everything?
Yeah, well, I would say that we did film during COVID, so we were one of a handful of movies at that time, where it's like, it was right at the height, right? So it was like January, February 2021. So regular testing and the masks and the screens and everything, and I think we did a great job with that. I think the Paper Street Productions team did an incredible job, keeping everything moving and keeping everyone safe. So that was certainly interesting. Going through the process like that was interesting. But we were focused. We were grateful to be there. We were focused. It was cold in upstate New York, so we walked into this beautiful Umbra sound stages, and we're just ready to get to work and ready to play.
That's awesome. What would you say was the most challenging scene for you to shoot in the movie?
I think, let's see here. The most challenging scene I think for me to shoot was there's a scene where my character Joe is sitting at the table with Old Man, and he's sharing about his past,
Yeah.
and it's a pretty big scene, and there's a lot of kind of a lot of different um, emotional uh, emotional hills and valleys that he goes through. And so that was challenging there, but also it was challenging because even though everything ran pretty damn smoothly on the shoot, we had a bit of a problem that day, and we had water hitting the window, but the water was hitting it pretty hard and pretty loud. And so at first it was kind of funny because I was talking very loud because it was so much louder than I thought. And then Steven and I had a pretty awesome moment where we just started laughing because we were like, is there like a full-blown hailstorm going outside? So we had a bit of an issue with the practical effect we were doing, but the Aaron Kuntz was quick on his feet, my co-producer, and we green screened it and we got it done. So that
Oh,
was a fun challenge.
that's awesome. Yeah, Aaron's a great guy. I've talked to him in the past.
Oh, cool.
He's really awesome.
Sharp guy, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember you from another film. I think when I first started doing this thing, a movie called Brawler back in
Oh,
the
yeah.
and that's where I first remembered you from. As soon as I recognized you, I'm
Oh,
like, I
really?
know him from the movie Brawler. He was
Oh, my God.
like that was like a long time ago, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I was like, this role compared to that, this was one of your best roles. I felt like you really brought out the emotions in this one.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thanks for the nod to Brawler. That was a fun role physically, right? Putting that together to do the physicality of that stuff. But thanks for saying that. And this was much more emotional type of role
Yeah, it was more
than that.
intense. Even you brought the intensity during the third act of the film where
Mm.
we knew something was going on. I'm not spoiling it. But I will say the way that the movie ended, my jaw literally dropped to the floor because that was not what I expected at all.
Really? Did it work for you? Did you like
Yes,
it?
it totally
it?
worked.
Okay.
It's the one thing I absolutely loved, like the way it ended. I thought it was going to go one way, and it just went a totally different route. And I just went, "Oh snap!" But it was
I'm
good.
glad you're here. You'll have to tell me what your mom thinks too.
Oh, I will.
Because I wasn't sure about it. There was one of those things where it was so exciting, but we were like, oh my God, this is either going to be super cool or we're going to be like,
People are going to
I don't
hate
know
it.
if it's
It's going to be a lover. It's going to be a love it or hate it ending.
right,
But
right,
for me,
right.
I absolutely loved it. That's all I'm going to say. And
Oh,
I'm
cool.
hoping people will get to see it when it comes out.
Oh man, thanks so much. Yeah.
What's next for you after this one that you can talk about?
So I just finished a movie in Woodstock with the ever colorful and passionate Larry Fessden, which was a lot of fun. And Lucky and I are talking about doing something together again. There's a sci-fi rom-com that I'm actually writing, testing my writing abilities, which have a long way to go. And just have a couple things that I'm working on, man. So we'll see which one of them ends up winning the race.
You think you're going to ever do a movie like Brawler again, possibly down the road, another physical type action role?
Definitely. I mean, I would love to because it's such a great opportunity, because that's the fun part, isn't it? It's like, you get to be a fighter or you get to be whatever it is. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to go learn about that stuff,
Yeah,
especially when it forces you to get in really great shape, right? So I'm like, maybe that's even a reason to do it.
there you go. That's what I would say. So,
Right,
Old
right.
Man is coming out October 14th, and Mark, man, you were great in this movie, and you and Stephen Lang just burned up the screen in this one, and I hope everyone gets to see it. I definitely will have to show this one to my mother because this is something I know she would get into. And I just hope she likes the ending as much as I did. But again, Mark, I had a pleasure talking with you, and thank you so much again for taking the time to talk about it.
Oh, you too. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me too. And I really want to know what your mom thinks. So you
I
have to
will.
let me know.
I'll let the PR reps know once
Okay, cool.
sees it, and I'll have them let Mark know that. So
Right.
I'll let them relay it.
Cool.
But until then,
Awesome.
all right, man, you take care.
You too. Have a great day.
All right, you too.